ain't no disco.
This ain't no country club neither.
This is RVA. Hey everybody.
Welcome, welcome
to another episode of
Oh La La in the Dungeon.
Season 2.
Episode 20.
We're getting older.
I know. We're practically
Almost through college.
Gen Xers. Oh, wait, I am. No.
What are we going to be talking about today?
Oh, we got some fun stuff lined up for you.
Yes, we have our hot topic as always. Stay tuned for finding out what that is, though. You have to listen.
And then we are interviewing Greg Terrell. We're interviewing him. He is the CEO and not the founder, but he is the CEO of TXTUR, which is an amazing furniture store here in Richmond that we featured on our Instagram.
Yes, and restaurant stuff.
Yeah, stuff. Wonderful.
We're eating some delicious snackies from there now.
So if you hear us smacking our lips, it's because we're eating salmon and cheese.
And then, of course, Big Daddy will be dropping some knowledge on us.
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about my experience with cellulitis.
Hooray!
Yay!
And what a good segue, the best pizza places in Richmond.
Yeah,
Which he can't eat right now because he can't.
No.
Can't have cheese. Why can't you have cheese?
Because of antibiotics.
Oh, okay.
Well, he can 3 hours after them. So luckily, we're timing this right.
Yeah, we're timing it right.
Cool.
And we'll have our upcoming events.
And then...
Our band of the week.
Oh, yeah, band of the week.
And our business of the week.
And then we're going to say farewell.
Vaya con Dios. So, let's get to the good stuff. First, let me introduce Greg, who has a long, storied career. We're going to go over.
That was an amazing bio you sent over.
I know.
I was fascinated.
An odd path.
I like it. I feel like a Renaissance woman too, so I always love like a circuitous story for like what you end up
Like boom, boom,
doing
boom.
for a long time. But all right, so Gregory Terrell is the founder and CEO of TXTUR, a company that manufactures sustainable wood furniture for homes. We have some here. You guys will be seeing pictures. Yay!
It's so beautiful.
TXTUR offers various furnishing designs and shapes, allowing customers to choose from a wide range of home decor. The company was founded in 1932 and is headquartered in Roanoke, Virginia. TXTUR and Stock Cafe and Bar has a vision for a furniture showroom restaurant combo, and they recently expanded to Richmond, minus the hotel component. It's opened in Manchester now. Everyone go check it out, and welcome, Greg.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
For being here.
Thank you so
We're
much for coming.
excited. Y'all are here. You
Yeah.
brought snacks.
Welcome to the show.
Yes. Snacks and alcohol. What more could we ask
Best
for?
friends
The,
for life.
the best gifts you could ever have.
And a couch.
And a
That's
couch.
right. And a couch. Hello. A gorgeous couch. All right. Well, let's get into this. Katy Perry is our hot topic.
I can't believe this stupid stuff. God.
All right, and why is she the hot topic? It's because the song Woman's World, which is on her upcoming album.
That's right. But before it even got released, it was catching flack because Dr. Luke is the producer on it, and given all of his past controversies, and this is supposed to be a woman empowerment
With Kesha.
anthem.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense. That people would be mad about that.
Well, yeah, but was he found guilty? I mean, sorry. If we're going to go off of that, I know I'm going to get hate for that. I don't like Dr. Luke, but I'm playing devil's
know.
advocate.
Allegedly, we have to say that.
Yes, he wasn't found.
Anyway, Kesha is free now, so that's the important part, right?
True, yeah. She got away.
Yep, she ran away. But they're also criticizing the video, which we just rewatched, and I actually liked the video.
Me too, and it doesn't make sense because last year the Barbie movie came out, and the music video for Katy Perry's song is like very reminiscent of the Barbie movie.
And so I thought it was, definitely along the style of Katy Perry. If you've watched any of her other videos, it's definitely in line with any of those.
It's definitely her like OG early stuff because she was going for like a pinup kind of vibe when she first came out. Then she tried to like change her image, with, I think it was Prism.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't go over that well. She cut her hair really short.
She did better as a pinup.
And like the music video, it's overly sexy, but that's her vibe. It's always been her vibe.
It's like over the top. It's campy,
Also, though, why the whole point is to not judge women, and it's a woman's world. So if I want to be sexy, then I don't give a damn what anybody's trying to tell me.
True. I liked the video, and it's not meant to be taken so seriously. Like, lighten up, people.
And Katy Perry herself on X said that it's satire. She spelled it out. It's satire, people. Give up the controversy.
Greg, I don't know. You have girls. Did they see the Barbie movie? Did you?
We went to the Barbie movie
together,
and I thought it was amazing. Like, I literally was like, this was one of the coolest movies I've seen in a long time. And it's campy, but it's having fun with something and covering great topics. So I thought it was great. And the Katy Perry, I've watched the videos with them, but I can't remember when she was the Egyptian.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's
Black Horse.
Yeah. I would imagine some of that same vibes going on there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that people even have to see the videos or anything these days to start criticizing them half the time. But people will start blasting something without, like, seriously watching it in contect or anything.
If Black Horse came out today, that would be criticized.
Dark Horse, yeah.
I thought it was Black Horse.
Close.
But if it came out today, I feel like people would be like, you're appropriating Egyptian culture.
I know. People just want to complain about stuff. But, I mean, also, another element to this is, like, she's apparently calling in crisis interventionists because, like, it hasn't cracked the top 10 and it's a flop. And I'm like, the whole album hasn't been released. And, like, we were talking about this before the show, but how is a flop gauged nowadays, like, with our society? Because you can't track, like, watching videos because no one watches videos. Like MTV, do they even show videos anymore?
No. It's Floribama, I think, in Jersey Shore.
Floribama.
And then
Floribama.
Yeah, Floribama.
My mistake.
I was like, is this Obama like in Florida? I don't know. I'd watch it.
Flora Obama.
That's Obama when he moves to Florida.
I'd watch it. But yeah, I just think people are so sensitive.
Yes, they are. Oh my God, it drives me insane.
Turn it down a notch, people, with sensitivity.
It's a stupid pop song. Just enjoy it.
But tell us what y'all think. Like, DM us. Let us know.
Yeah.
Am I way off base? Am I out of touch? Am I too old?
Let's run a poll. We'll see if you agree with us or disagree. We want to know why.
I've been too desensitized by our culture.
Is Katy Perry, is she hot or cold?
I think
yes
she's hot.
Or no.
I mean, I'm sorry, but she looked like the best she's ever looked, I thought, in the video.
She looked incredible.
God.
Anyway, moving on.
Yes. Anyway, let's move on to our main event, Greg. We're putting you in the hot seat.
The first question is always, are you from Richmond? If not, what brought you here?
Not from Richmond. My brother and I are really from up in Ohio, northern Ohio, although we grew up much more in Virginia. A little town called Bedford, Virginia, was where we spent most of our time, Bedford and Lynchburg.
I'm very familiar with Bedford.
Oh.
Cute little town.
How old were you when you moved to Richmond or to Virginia?
I think, I was like 4, so Steve was 7. So
Steve is here. He's
his brother is
helps
here.
me remember to keep everything straight.
So when you were growing up, did you want to be a part of the family business?
We were around it all the time. And
why don't you give us some background? When did the family business start?
So we're around 90 years old, correct?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's a long time.
And our grandfather was a Hungarian immigrant.
Wow. That's cool.
He came over as name was Francis Ferdinand Chervignac, and he got to Ellis Island, and they said, "Your name is now Frank Chervan," and just flat out shortened it and changed it.
So that's how that works.
That's how that works. We're like, we're gonna make your name less complicated. But he'd lived up in Ravenna, Ohio. There was a lot of immigrants from his area, around that area, and he was actually a wood carver and an artist. Oh. And we don't have much of his art existing anymore because evidently when his mother committed suicide, correct?
Oh my God.
He got all of his art from art school and everything and burned it. And the only art that he had after that was chairs that he designed and all, which we do have some of that.
Oh, cool.
And so we started a business just making the wood chair frames, and the whole industry headed south over the years. People don't realize, but it used to be what's High Point Market now used to be in Chicago. So for a while, you would actually want it to be closer to there. And then as things headed to High Point, the industry headed south and ended up down there.
Okay. Yeah, I wondered about that because part of my family's from Danville. And I remember my dad saying there was like some furniture places, manufacturers down that way.
Yeah, Danville. Danville was one of those communities that was both textiles and furniture. So there was a close connection there. And Danville's having a nice revitalization too.
I never knew that about Danville, how it had a furniture connection.
Yeah, and the fabrics and furniture industries have always been closely tied, and it's interesting. Kind of we've been fighting an uphill battle, kind of keeping things from going offshore, but fabric really kind of went first. The textiles, went first in a lot of ways, and then furniture came thereafter. But it's nice to see a town like Danville coming back, and we've been doing some interesting projects there. So it's an interesting time.
I was gonna say, some of my fam's still there.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
yeah.
So when you were like a child, what was the first piece of furniture that you ever made, or did you ever make furniture, like a full piece?
It was probably more about like working on stuff that was, in the plant, which is, more like individual components and all. For me, I remember sweeping the floors a lot. I remember hanging out with people doing different operations, and it was the people in the plant were always just incredibly nice. Part of it was our father was he ran the plants, but he had also done all of the work in there. So the people on the plant floor like totally respected him because one of his rules for us was you never ask somebody to do something you're not willing to do yourself. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like you're willing to do it for 5 minutes. It's like you're willing to go out there and do it for 2 weeks. Doesn't matter if it's 90 degrees or 30 degrees, you're going to go do it. So, and I think that made a big difference in how the people in our plant work together and how they, the mutual respect on both sides was important.
That's good. So, but then you did not continue on that footpath. You changed lanes.
No, my brother jumped out first. He went down to North Carolina for college and did lots of other things, with theater and other things. And I was with the business for a while and then left, and my wife and I moved to New York City and had a interesting time there for a while and explored around.
Why did you move to New York City?
First of all, it was her graduate school. It was an opportunity to go and experience things. She's way smarter than me. She's the one with the Columbia degree. And she was studying public health there. And it ended up, as things happened, there's just great opportunities fell in our laps. I got to work in a consulting firm with small manufacturers around the Northeast. And we just ended up staying and enjoying it and pursuing different careers. So.
And then you also worked on Wall Street, I read.
I did.
That's so cool. Was it like Wolf on Wall Street?
As a broker, or?
I was actually what's called an equity research analyst. So I would, when people talk about did the company meet their earning estimates and stuff, that was
okay.
The crazy thing to learn was when you walked in the door, you kind of feel like everybody on Wall Street knows what the hell they're doing. I'm allowed to say hell.
Yes,
you can say all sorts of things.
You can say whatever you want.
The fact of the matter is a ton of us walking in didn't know a darn thing, but it's one of those places you jump into the deep end of the pool and you figure it out. So
yeah, sink or swim. Right?
Sink or swim type place.
That's adulthood.
I know. Well, so jumping back though, not when you were doing that, the analyst, I'm sure that helped as well, but when you were working with smaller like merchants and stuff, did that kind of help you see things from both sides? Like,
Yeah, I was really fortunate. I had some great mentors that had run, large operations and even some on the retail and distribution side. And it's a great thing to jump around a lot of businesses and see lots of different kinds of challenges and all. It all comes back to people in the long run. I mean, we would go in a company and you could make a difference and do something great if the culture was there and the people respected each other. And then you could know you're going to go in someplace and it doesn't matter what they spent, if they can't work together, they'll get nowhere.
Right.
So what called you back to Virginia?
So I guess it was around 99 or so. That sounds right. The industry was really suffering at that time. We mostly made residential furniture and we made components for other residential manufacturers. And that was the period where lots of the big companies were closing up. Sending everything offshore. At that point in time, our aunt was the majority owner and president, and she had fought the battle for a long time, but it was ugly. And I got a call that said, "We have to do something. If you want to talk about this, meet me in the Pittsburgh airport tomorrow at 10."
Oh, wow.
And I caught a flight and met with her, and we talked. And I remember getting on the plane to go back and saying, "How the hell am I going to tell my wife?" And I'm thinking about getting back into this thing. So I was smart enough to take her out to our favorite French bistro. And,
Wait, what is it? Is it still
I can't remember the name of it now. It was this little tiny place, but it was a great little place. And we polished off some cocktails and a bottle of wine. And then I said, "How about we move back to Virginia?" So,
asked her in the right way.
so
She said yes, but didn't remember it the next day.
it was before we could record it on our cell phones or anything.
Right? That's funny. So then you bought the actual manufacturing too, or so that's where I was kind of confused. Because then you created TXTUR that's like a different entity.
Yeah. So, thank you for the nice introduction. I can't say that I was the founder of the manufacturing side because I'm old, but thankfully not that old yet.
Right.
Even though I feel it some days.
Not 90.
Not 90. But yes, my brother and I and my father was still living at the time. We bought the other people that were involved in the business out in 99 and, made a fresh start. We thought we had a crew and had a shot of making it work. We changed the business model. We went from, taking 16 weeks to make products to the majority of our stuff started shipping in 10 to 12 days.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
God.
People don't realize we made a lot of, wood dining chairs and wood guest chairs that go in big offices and stuff. And you don't realize, but those chairs have 200 different machining operations that all have to be set up. They're complicated. And, it became clear the way we would compete was by being fast, having high quality and fast. And so we kind of got together with the team and said, how can we change this whole model? And we did. And we got rewarded with a lot of business, particularly in the office furniture industry. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Well, I was going to say, what gave you the idea of just branching out and doing TXTUR?
I can't remember who said it. Somebody much smarter than me came up with the term of never waste a good crisis. And it was the crisis of COVID that really, helped us get TXTUR started, forced us to get TXTUR started. For a long time, we wanted to be closer to the end customer. And but we've always been in the background. We've been the people making it and then sticking somebody else's label on it. And over the years, we had made less and less residential furniture. And we said we wanted to do this, but it was always just a back burner idea. Right. And then COVID hit and our business about stopped. I mean, because we were making for hotels, corporate offices, and senior living. Nothing was.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. Yeah. So it was
none of that happening.
Not at the right time. So we had about 195 people that we had to figure out something to do with. Wow. And we just started working on TXTUR as fast as we could to try to get something in the pipeline. So
how'd you come up with the name?
So it's
the spelling.
In the spelling.
I like it.
Coming up with a name is probably cooler than the spelling. One of our core values, and my daughters still roll their eyes when I say this all the time, but I have this strong belief that everything happens in context. The more you know about, why somebody hates the Katy Perry video or why, she filmed it that way or whatever, when you know the context, you know so much more about it. And so we were trying to figure out how to involve the word context in what we were doing. And then the less glamorous part is it turns out that the only web domain that I could buy, that I could afford at the time was TXTUR because it doesn't really spell anything. Still cost me $5,000. But it was like, let's go for it. Let's try it. So
I remember you telling us that.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense just because of the textures of sofas and furniture. And it's a good name for that.
The beautiful texture of our new
go.
one.
The
Like
spelling, the spelling's kind of
Corduroy.
modern.
it is. So then you decided off of that to do the hotel, or what came first, the chicken or the egg?
So in full disclosure, we got up and got running, and we thought, we'll just be like everybody else and sell online. And it turns out, you need to have several $1 million to attract the attention, and you need to be willing to lose all of it and then find more. And we weren't in that game. We've actually seen, there are some people in the industry that talk about the real industry and the fake industry, and there's a lot of companies out there like the Wayfarers and all the world that simply don't make money. And they are the fake side of just build a whole lot of customer base, but not. And that wasn't something we could compete with. So we tried to sell online, got nowhere. Thought about closing down what we were doing because we were burning money. And one of our older, more experienced team members, she said, Greg, we're not selling online, but every single person that comes in a plant and sits in a piece of furniture, 100% conversion. Why don't we just open a showroom? And COVID was still going on, but furniture showrooms were working. And so we took a little corner of this ratty old plant, and we took 3 weekends and we made a showroom out of it. Put the stuff in there. Steve came up and cooked paellas. We had a bunch of wine. We were not going to run out of wine. And we had a big party. And over the next week or two, as people came in, we were finishing off the wine that was there. And what we realized is it was a cool space. It was pretty, even though it was in this old factory. But people were like hanging out. They were like, you give them free wine, everybody's going to hang out anyway. But people would hang out and they would sit in the furniture and they'd be like, this is nice.
Yeah, this is nice.
This is fun. And so
that's what we did.
It's a natural. And the other fun part about it for us is like, we don't really want to push people, you just talk and have a conversation. So people are hanging out, having a good time. They were more apt to start asking you about, hey, can I get a sofa like this?
Right. And
we liked that environment, and that's really was the genesis of the idea. Let's try to create a different experience.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
I was going to say just like a relaxing atmosphere where people kind of feel at home, and yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how we felt.
I know, I like that because it's also probably better for the people who are working doing the sales on the floor because it's more relaxed and it's more like a conversation versus like, hi, I'm here to sell you a new car, or I mean?
Yeah.
Like
The showroom is set up like a beautiful lounge. Like there's so many different places to lounge.
Yeah, we have some excellent people on our team that design the space. Alex and Nick and Amber, all of them, Arden, they really put a lot of thought into it's a big open old freight cross dock, but they tried to make some intimate small spaces to hang out and feel comfortable. And I think it also helps people feel like this could fit, it could actually fit my home.
Like we were at the dining table, like eating on one of the pieces of furniture for sale, and we're like, I feel like we're at home.
Exactly.
Having a meal.
Exactly.
I know, it was great. What would you say are the differences, like aesthetically, if there are any, between here and Roanoke?
We always thought Richmond would be a really good fit for both who we are as a company and the aesthetic and all. We actually looked at this building and almost opened here first instead of in Roanoke.
Oh, okay.
But it was just a stretch for us, and frankly, it would have been a stretch for the gentleman that owned the building here to say, yeah, I'll turn it over to these guys that are, just starting off. But, for our aesthetic as a whole at TXTUR is, furniture has become a fashion business. And one thing I don't like about the fashion business is when people are trying to say right and wrong and tell somebody what their style should be. Mm-hmm. And I think we're much more about trying to equip you to make what your style is in your own home, and
so true.
And it makes it more fun. And I think we're freeing people to do that. I mean, I've been amazed. We've had people that walk in the door at 78 years old and say to us, we got rid of everything they got handed down to us. This is going to be the last sofa we ever buy. And you think they're going to make something really like traditional looking, and they come out with the coolest mid-century modern thing ever. And you see their big smile when it goes in their home, and you're like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
You should goosebumps. Yeah.
You had the coolest patterns. We were picking out the pattern for the couch that Liz and Matt bought. You had like cheetah print, cow print. That's what I would get. I want a pink cheetah print couch.
It's so fun to see what people do. Over the years we've done NFL stadiums and lots of we had one customer that we worked with, and they did tour buses for people.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Katy Perry.
Haven't seen the Katy Perry one yet. That'll be fun. If you're listening, Katy, we'll see.
Canceled now.
So are we now. So, what makes your furniture Nordic?
So, I think that the Nordic inspiration for us is really about the clean lines and things not being fussy and simple but classic. And I think people will find that in our stuff. It's not fast fashion that this is gonna it's gonna be outdated in 6 or 8 months, and you're gonna think you need to throw it away. I mean, that's a huge problem with our industries.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So it's meant to be timeless and clean designs, but also stuff that can become a palette for somebody to really make it fit their home.
And you're a sustainable company. You recycle furniture. You let people bring it in and recycle it.
Yeah. So, we have you guys remember the product line that's the stuff with the seatbelt webbing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's designed by a good friend and a brilliant industrial designer named Peter Danko, and we've made for him for years. But he licensed that design to us, and I was always impressed by him because he kind of speaks truth to the industry a lot. He goes around in these conferences, and they're talking about sustainability. And he's like, all you guys want to do is talk about sustainable materials, but if you're making junk out of it that it doesn't last, that's not sustainable by definition.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's like it's still a one-way street from here to the landfill, And my older daughter Nora studied environmental science, and I was talking with her one day. I was like, our furniture is different. Like, it lasts so long. This is, we have one division that sells to small upholstery shops across the country and has for years and years. And one of them in Memphis, and I'm talking about Steve. He's got a picture on his wall of a wing chair that has been back to his family reupholstery. He's third generation, and this one wing chair frame that we made over 60 years ago has been in like 10 times getting reupholstered. And that's real sustainability. That frame never got wasted, and it's just gotten new life after new life.
It's built to last.
It's built to last. So we said, how can we build that into a bigger model? And so we came up with this whole notion of upcycle that we would, because we're building the frames to a commercial standard, they're going to last. We'll take it back in and remanufacture it. And we kind of designed some of that into the way that, like that sofa there, the way it's put together, we can actually take that thing apart and reupholster it better and differently.
Wow.
And we
that's
thought,
good to know if their style changes.
Yeah. And
it won't.
we thought we were like, brilliant and all. And I was telling my daughter about it, and she's like, Dad, that's the circular economy, which I hadn't followed. But if anybody who really wants to think about sustainability, I think it's a brilliant way of approaching it. And so we're trying to build that model, which I think will be the first in furniture to do that. So
that's amazing. Yeah, and I love too that it's all it's like handcrafted.
Yeah.
And everything's made here.
Made here.
Wow.
It's there's tons of people that say they make furniture and stuff in the United States, but what they're really doing is importing components and putting them together. Mm-hmm. We start with lumber, and we start with massive pieces of foam and fabric, and that's it. That's what comes in our plant, and in one operation, we make everything. So you guys should come out and see the plant sometime.
I would love to, yeah.
He's a civil engineer, so he's like
into
I'd be
really
fascinated with it.
We'll do a reel too.
There we go.
Yes, another reel. It went viral.
So where is the plant?
Our plant's in Roanoke, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, we took over about 15 years ago now. One of the major brands closed one of their last plants to send things to China. and we reopened it with about 12 people, and now there's about 175 in there.
That's quite an expansion.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, I have a pickle on my mouth.
We're just snacking away on this beautiful Scandinavian board.
The stock board. If you got stock. Speaking of, now, so did Steve help bring some of this vision alive with the food and drink?
Yeah, absolutely. We have an executive chef in Roanoke named Jeff Farmer, and Steve worked with the Roanoke team for a long time. The Scandinavian, influence there, it matches the furniture, but it's also a fun cuisine to work with these days. And when you agree, it agrees with the Nordic design, simple ingredients and craftful
it's
presentation.
kind of brilliant in Richmond because there's so many different cuisines in Richmond, and I don't think there's a Scandinavian cuisine. It's the first of its kind.
Yeah,
not that I know of. No.
What was the ones we were talking that were kind of close? And it was like Metzger's.
Oh yeah,
Metzger.
Yeah. Which and Brenner Pass. But we're not like right on top of each other, and we have a ton of respect for what they're doing there. Some real.
That's like the great part about Richmond. I think it's like such a collaborative environment. And I'm sure like Brittany, after she's done dealing with the pink room debacle, would love to collab with y'all too sometime. Everyone loves to like support each other and work together.
That's been, we've loved everything about coming to Richmond. We love Manchester. It's just the coolest. I just love it. There's so many great neighborhoods, but that's a great fit for us.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Richmond has this feel of like, I think a rising tide floats all boats, and I think that's something that is great about Richmond for sure.
Yeah, because when I moved to Richmond, probably about 15 years ago, it wasn't nearly what it is now. Like there weren't nearly as many restaurants, things to do. It's expanded so much.
Yeah, I was on a date yesterday, and the guy I was on a date with moved away from Richmond 7 years ago, and now he's coming back, and he's like, it's crazy how much has changed in just 7 years.
Yeah. People told us too, like everybody says, Richmond's going to be a big city that's tough to deal with and everything. But I have to tell you, personally, I think the city of Richmond has been awesome for us to work with. As we're there's a lot of complexity in trying to get a furniture store or a restaurant open. And when you're trying to do the two of them together, it's like,
I'm sure.
And they've been great to work with. We had, it's a 1910 building. Turns out, the sewer infrastructure wasn't working right. We didn't find out until we got open. And there was employees from the city of Richmond who were out there all night, several nights, with nobody pressuring them. They were just trying to do the right thing. So that's a big shout out to the city of Richmond. They've been great.
I know. I've always said it actually. I know we're considered a large city by some. A town by CNN, but it has like a small town feel almost because like everyone almost knows each other. Having lived here almost my entire life, I've dated most people who live here, and so have all my friends.
I swear to God, everybody I meet is connected. Like different groups, like Bosnians know the restaurant owner, and they know like the guy I dated 2 years ago. Like everything's connected. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a great feel town.
What was I going to say? One thing I really love about Texture and Stock is it's just built together. Like it's not a separate entity like an IKEA. I would hate to compare you to that. You're not that at all. But like when I tell people about Texture, I'm like, oh, and they have a restaurant. And they're like, oh, so like where's the restaurant? And I'm like, it's literally in the middle of everything. Like you sit at the table like that's for sale.
Yeah. I'm out of everything that has gone well for us opening here, that I think the thing that I'm most proud of, and Steve should take a ton of credit for this, is that strong notion of keeping it all together is one thing. When we went to open the store in Richmond first, the building for that almost necessitated 3 different businesses in one. We have a hotel, a boutique hotel. We have Stock and we have Texture. And we did explore it first. We said, maybe we should get somebody else and do the restaurant as a concession. And then you start really asking people, and you're like, frankly, you get down to the point of discussing core values and how we're going to treat customers and all. And you're like, I can't have this. We can't have an experience that doesn't hang together. And the team in Richmond's doing a marvelous job of making it all work. To this day in Roanoke, we almost have to convince people to eat in the showroom.
Richmond, we're like,
Richmond, everybody's like,
I want to be on display.
It doesn't even feel like you're in a furniture store. It just feels like a beautiful lounge.
We had, again, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. That somebody gave us a Google review the other day that I totally loved, and she said it felt like a mini vacation coming in for dinner. And I was like, that's when we're firing on all cylinders. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's like it takes you because it's Scandinavian, so it kind of makes you feel like you're abroad almost.
There you go, perfect.
It does, I know. And then I hope people know about this, but if they don't, the parking situation.
Oh my God, I was about to say that. You
It's
have
amazing.
a beautiful parking lot.
It's, there's so many, we kept coming up and looking at other neighborhoods and there's so many great neighborhoods in Richmond, but we wanted an old building. I mean, there's something special about us with our connection to craft going into an old building and giving it a new life. But we couldn't find a place that really had parking. And for us to work, we need everybody around to support us and come in, and you need to make it easy for people. And we've got ample parking. So people want to drop in, just look for furniture, or if they want to come hang out and have lunch or brunch or dinner.
Do you
It's
ever
easy.
have any problems with like non-customers parking in the lot?
It just started happening this week. But honestly, I think it'll, I don't think it'll end up being a big deal. But Steve lives right in the neighborhood, like right next door to the store now, and we have a number of great friends that are in the neighborhood now, and it's almost like people are watching out, for it. So it's
good.
working.
So, yeah, I've got a question about the building itself. Like, are there any really cool features that you found, or like really interesting historical parts of the building?
Yeah. So, at first when we went to, it's the Department of Historic Resources that kind of governs this stuff because it was a historic tax credit project. And at first we said, this is what we wanted to do. And they said, no, it's not going to work. And they were nice enough to tell us why. And they were great points. And we went back and really, really worked on our design to preserve everything we could about the building. And the concern was mainly on the front end of the building where there used to be offices. The back end of the building, we always wanted to leave open, which was something unique we could do. But there's the unique parts of that building is the whole back 3/4 of the building was a railroad freight cross dock. So it's just open, 200 feet long. When we were talking about what we're going to do with the back end of that building, when they get into these projects, particularly in old industrial property, there's always conversations about what brick walls can you paint and not paint. And the typical rule is if it's been painted before, you can paint it again. And so we start having these conversations and we're like, we don't want to paint anything. I mean, like there's literally something that looks like it was written
Oh yeah,
like almost like calligraphy or something,
cool.
like, and it says no loafing, it was like,
That's so cool.
it was like,
No corgis allowed.
so we're like, and on one of the back beams, painted, because it has these beautiful wood trusses that span from one side to the other, and there's one this beam that just says no smoking on it. And they were like, you're gonna want to paint over that. I'm like, no, you love it. It's so cool.
Keep it authentic.
Yeah.
I love all that historical stuff.
You also have outdoor seating.
There is a huge patio that goes down. I'm geographically challenged, but it goes down the side of the building that's shaded from the sun most of the time, and it's a cool old. It's probably 12 feet wide and 200 feet long. So we've got plenty of seating out there, lounge seating and tables. We think as it starts to get cooler, it's going to be an awesome place for everybody to come. And you can come. You can bring your friendly dogs. We're friendly to friendly dogs.
Yay.
So friendly
Our
dogs can come
dungeon
on the
dog
porch.
Don't bring Bujo. He's not friendly. I'm just
I
kidding.
think he's got it.
He has his times.
He wants the cheese really bad.
He's being good, though. He's actually
being
being
awesome.
really good. And then I don't know if you decided or not, but are you going to start having live music?
We've talked some about that. I think we want to have some things that really, particularly some things that really invite the neighborhood itself. And, so if live music ends up being it or what, we are getting a lot of interest for events as a whole, people, doing events in the gallery. And we've done a few of them.
That'd be awesome.
And I think it's a
that'd be
fun space.
Yeah, you guys just had Michael Sparks.
Michael Sparks was
Oh my gosh, I
He's
was like, dang
wonderful.
it, that was sold out.
Yeah.
It's always sold out.
God, we loved him.
Well, that's really the way I found you guys was when Michael was on here, which was, fascinating. He's a fascinating person.
So interesting.
And Underground Kitchen is doing such great work. And we
Yep.
did
So,
a pop-up dinner. It was
Speaking
great.
of Michael, he actually recommended that you make the espresso martinis. He
Oh,
said they
yeah.
were some of the best he had
Yeah,
had.
he's the one that
originally.
recommended us getting your espresso martini.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Michael.
And I don't think we mentioned this, but Stock has a beautiful bar in TXTUR. It is gorgeous.
That's we have a lot of fun with our bars, and that was actually one of the key design elements. I'll give Alex Monroe and our team a ton of credit on that. If you go in there, even if you're not having a drink, stop by and look at the bar top. It's it's truly unique, and it's a beautiful space.
What is you all's favorite thing on the menu, be it a libation or not, right now?
I am the house cured salmon, or excuse me, the house cured gravlax is just one of my go-to favorites. And we do a s'more which is it's a traditional open face sandwich on a rye bread, and we do that with gravlax and all. And I have dreams about that meal. I don't know what's your favorite hitting right now. The steak, we do a steak frites, and a little bit different with a cheese fondue sauce that's great. And then,
I'm getting that next time. Well, we went for lunch. I gotta go.
We got the chicken sandwich, but the open faced one was so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's
And then our friend Taylor, I think I saw she posted about she had lunch with Curated Chaos Agency.
Yeah.
She had the mushroom one, and I was debating on that last time, so I'm excited to come back and get that.
Chef Kevin loves mushrooms, and he's constantly doing some cool things.
Who's the name of our waiter? I can't remember. He was Brandon.
Yeah. Oh my God,
he was
yes,
wonderful.
He
He was
was
so friendly. Yeah.
So, they have a great approach to hospitality, and our whole front of house team. Brandon joined us and was an absolutely wonderful gift, but he had to move to Florida.
Florida.
He moved,
Flora Bam.
But Brandon, I'll tell you how nice of a guy he was. He actually set us up with some other great people on his way out, and they embody a lot of his hospitality. And
he had a really cool style too, and I love the uniforms, like the apron, the corduroy apron or whatever, canvas, whatever it is.
Those were a great pick. Those were great.
And then of course we have to shout out Lisa.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
And so we have two great team leaders there, and Lisa and Sarah, that are running the gallery. They have incredibly complementary skills to get things done for customers, and we're not the kind of people that just contract out the getting a store open and building all that stuff. We were all in there doing it, and we knew our Richmond team that we hired was the right people when they were rolling up their sleeves and heading into opening, getting everything done. So it's been fun working with them.
So professional and polished. Oh, I love it.
I know. I love it. Any upcoming events going on you want to tell us about, or ways we can support?
So number one, come out and experience Stock. I think it's it's a unique experience, right? I mean, you can't go in a restaurant and have that kind of space, and the service is great. Kevin's team is just constantly creating just some beautiful food. So we think you will have a great time if you come out and experience Stock.
And you don't even need to be buying furniture to come in. Just come in to eat.
Yeah. In fact, I think you'll find, we're not a commission environment. We are just solve problems for customers. And you'll find that people will just say, can I answer any questions? This is about as pushy as we're going to get.
True.
Yeah. So it's a fun experience.
Sorry, our demon. Our dungeon.
He is not doing well with this cheese board.
Don't worry, we'll be eating it, Boudreaux. You won't be, but we will after this is over. Any other questions?
How can we support you? Yeah. How can our fans find you?
So
our fans, our listeners, I guess fans,
absolutely fans.
They're famous.
So our Instagram is active, both Stock RVA and TXTUR RVA.
Once again, that's TXTUR.
TXTUR, absolutely.
That reminds me of that song Saturday. TXTUR.
And did I read y'all have a neighborhood happy hour coming up, right?
We do. Yes,
because I'm going to that.
Yeah, so we all are.
Excellent. Every Monday through Saturday, we're
3 to 6. Okay. Yes. Monday through Saturday, 3 to 6 happy hour, and there's a neighborhood gathering, I believe, next Wednesday.
So we have to take off a little bit of work, but that's all right. I'll do it.
You can come in and answer
Twist
emails
my
from your
arm.
phone.
I know,
or something.
right? Yes.
We won't tell.
I'm working right now.
I'm working from the bar.
All right. Yay. Well, we can't sing y'all's praises enough. Seriously, the
Thank you so
whole
much.
environment, y'all's personalities, everyone you hired, you guys, you're just amazing. So friendly.
Lovable.
Well, thank
Yes.
you, and thank you for what you guys are doing for Richmond, and also for the nice shout out to us and all as well. It's been a lot to us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We look forward to supporting you for many years to
Many
come,
times.
as your couch will support my back.
There we go.
And mine.
Perfect.
Thank God they got a new couch.
I know. Oh my God. Like literally, I could cry tears of joy. My back could as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent.
yep. Love it.
All right.
So,
Drop it on us.
Big Daddy.
Today I'm going to be talking about a fun topic, and that is cellulitis.
Oh,
yeah, and Big Daddy got a big case of the cellulitis, and so listeners out there, so my hand was so swollen that I could barely close it, and it was extremely painful, and so Big Daddy ended up in the
hospital.
in the
I thought he
hospital.
was just going to get antibiotics, and he went to our primary care, and they were like, "No, you have to go get IV antibiotics." But they made it sound like it was like a quick in and out.
Yeah, they
No, it was.
And then he called me and was like, "I'm getting admitted."
Yeah, so
for 2 days.
Yeah, so I was in there for 2 days, and I'm on a 14-day course of antibiotics, and so I'm looking over there at the aquavit, and I'm like, that looks amazing right now. But if I were to have
I
that,
can't wait to have some.
the antibiotics would make me puke. So
Wait.
Too
so
bad for you.
that is off the list of things I can have, and so
Because you were in the hospital, I got to take your place on a DC trip.
yeah, so
I
Thank
know,
you.
I felt so bad, but I was like, I literally organized a trip, and it was friends coming in from Philadelphia and San Francisco. And I was like,
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
I gotta go. Bye.
And me too. Thanks, Matt, though.
you're welcome.
We went and saw Nats game, went to some fun dive bars.
I
Smell you later.
I got lots of pictures of beers being toasted. But anyway, this is going to be the segue.
Yes, yes.
So one of the things I can't have is dairy
Within 3 hours.
within 3 hours. And
pills.
I'm going to talk about the best places to get pizza.
Yeah.
You
And-
could get vegan pizza at some of these places, though,
Ew.
if you're into that.
And so number one is Pizza and Beer of Richmond. So they have Neapolitan style pizza, thin crust. And don't they have like
Pear
a...
pizza. Pear, what's the one we always get? The jam? The fig jam
Oh,
pizza.
yeah. They changed their menu, though. I'm not sure. It was still on there. Sorry, guys.
And that's located on West Carey Street in the Fan. And another one that we tried recently is Pizza Bones. And that is in Churchill, Jefferson Street. And they have, they're very focused on fresh ingredients. And
Cool environment, too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. They have like a
Disco
movie
ball.
night once a week where you can like go and watch a movie. They have a market every Sunday with like craft vendors from around
sounds
here.
So I think it used to be an old gas station.
It did.
Yeah. And next up is Fire and Hops. That's on Belmont Avenue in the Fan, and they serve fire roasted pizzas with a thin and crispy crust. There's Pupatella, or is it
Pupatella.
Or is it Pupatella?
Pupatella.
So that's,
Or maybe it's Pupatella. I don't know.
I don't know. If anyone knows the correct pronunciation, please tell us.
I always
Another
said
poll.
Pupatella, but
So it's on North Moore Street in the Fan, and they also serve Neapolitan style pizza. And one of my favorites is Triple Crossing.
Ooh,
They
they've
have
got some good
delicious
pizza.
pizzas. They are in Fulton and downtown, and they focus on simplicity and fresh ingredients. And you can't forget their beer either.
Ooh.
So moving on, River City Wood-Fired Pizza.
Yeah.
Olivia's like,
They're supporters of the podcast, too. They're
Also,
wonderful.
that's probably my number one.
Yeah, it's the best.
yeah, and so they are a food truck, so you'll see them at events.
And brick and mortar.
And brick and mortar. And so they have wood-fired oven. They have a wood-fired oven for a crispy crust and a slightly smoky taste. So that kind of sets them apart. And there's an honorable mention, the Patrick Henry.
Yes. Oh my God, their pickle pizza.
And I was gonna say they have the buffalo chicken pizza.
Yes,
and
they have. Yep, buffalo chicken.
You can get
pizza.
pickle
It's really
pizza
good.
with chicken, fried chicken. Remember we had that?
Oh yeah.
Because you might be thinking like pickles on my pizza, but it's extremely good. It's so good.
Actually, a couple places have pickle pizza now, but I still stand by Patrick Henry.
That sounds
Oldest bar in Richmond.
The Lily Pad has good pizza too. Shout out.
So I'm gonna go around like, what's everybody's favorite pizza place in Richmond?
For me, it's obviously River City Woodfire #1, but Sparrows. Cheap and so good, family owned, little tiny pizza counter in the West End. Check it out. It's wonderful.
Mine's the River City Woodfire, but I would say second is actually River City Roll and tie with Patrick Henry.
Their nugs are extremely
Nugs.
delicious. Yeah.
What's the name of that pizza we like? The
Deadwood.
Yep, that's it.
Do you guys have a favorite place you liked?
the one I would give a shout out to is the Continental right across the street from us.
yeah.
We love the Continental.
And they were
Continental.
super nice people that kept us fed while we were building the store. So it's always a good hit there.
With a vodka limeade.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
We love going there for brunch.
Nice people. That's awesome.
Steve, you live here now. Favorite pizza spot? He
doesn't
doesn't
leave
leave
Steve just
up.
works all the time.
Yes,
He does.
yes.
He said whatever mine is.
Greg never gives him a day off.
Or DiGiorno. It's
Yeah,
not-
is
not
that
to-
your favorite, hon?
No, well, I used to eat DiGiorno's, but not anymore.
You've moved past that.
Yeah.
Your palate has matured.
Yeah. So anyway, that concludes Drop It On Us Big Daddy.
Thanks,
All
Big
right.
Daddy.
Thank you. Now we got some upcoming events. Olivia, you want to kick it off?
Oh, Lord, hold on. I got to find it. But I will tell you what it is. It's
Yes.
about Fetch a Cure. But just give me a second to find my notes. Okay. So, it's a long ways away, but make sure you snag your early bird tickets now for the 15th annual Pets on Parade put on by Fetch a Cure. Fetch a Cure will return to the gorgeous Main Street station that we sadly did not have our DC trip out of.
right.
I was excited. But anyway, they are... I just lost my place. God dang it. For their 16th celebration of Pets on Parade benefit and auction. Voted in the top 3 best local fundraising events by Richmond Magazine, Pets on Parade hosts over 600 people and their furry family members. This is by far the most fun guests will have at a charity auction. Attendees will enjoy delicious local cuisine from some of Richmond's best restaurants, signature cocktails, a varied silent auction with something for everyone, and a spirited live auction at Fetch's biggest fundraiser of the year. Funds raised at Pets on Parade help support Fetch a Cure in their mission to further pets. So Pets on Parade supports pets who have cancer. They offer education and treatment and provide financial support for ongoing programs, including the Companions in Crisis Fund and Pixie's Pen Pals Rescue Program. We will link up that in the show notes so you can buy your tickets. It sounds like it's going to be a great time, and it's for a great cause. For a great cause.
We will be there.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yep, the Ola La crew. Well, a couple closer events coming up this coming weekend, as in next week, because this won't drop until Monday. So Friday, August 2nd, at the Meadow Event Park, Doswell, Shinedown is playing with special guests Stopgap Solution. Gates open at 5:30. Show starts at 7. Actually, all their VIP, like their reserve seating, is sold out already, which is
wow.
crazy. So all that's available is general admission, which is lawn, I believe. Those are 31 buckaroonies.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And then Matt and I will be at this event if anyone wants to come see us. Saturday, August 3rd at 6 o'clock, celebrate Virginia Craft Beer Month and with the Virginia Museum of History and Culture as it hosts the 6th annual Virginia Brews, which Brouhaha.
Brouhaha.
I feel like that was the name up until this year. But so it's going to focus on a selection of craft beers from across the Commonwealth. They'll have live music, as always, food trucks, and then you also get access to the museum's, the Virginia Museum of History and Culture, all their exhibitions, which right now they have a really cool Julia Child, exhibition. There's a Booker T. Washington one. A cool thing about like close to 5,000 schools, like historic things that changed America within schools. So with your ticket, you get, like I said, free admission to the museum. You also get a commemorative glass. Nice. You get 8 tickets, which are, I believe, 8. That might be a typo, guys. Don't kill me. But basically, you get 3-ounce pours, and you can buy more tickets, or they let you like use 2 tickets and get a full-size beer. And they also have, I know last year they had some mead and cider, so they'll probably have that again.
I love mead.
Yeah, okay. They have Big Ugly Brewing. I'll just list a couple. Blue Toad Cidery. They have the Dancing Kilt Brewery. Nansman Brewing Station. Redbeard Brewing, just to name a few.
Are these all local?
So they're all Virginia.
Yeah,
okay,
Virginia.
cool.
Virginia. So you can get tickets now for the historic society members. I was like brain fart. What am I trying to say? Those are $35. Non-members are $40. And if you don't want to drink, then $10.
So
Ooh, $10.
One of the things I want to mention is that when the brouhaha first started, they used to make historical beers, and so they would make beers out of pine needles and like
they followed like the old historic recipes that they found
that they had in colonial times. So it was kind of interesting trying those.
But now they've just gone straight to beer. Whatever they can find, beer. But and then we've got our
Band of the Week.
Yes, ma'am. Who is that?
They are sadly, when this episode comes out, they will have already played in Richmond, but they will be back. But anyway, the band is Saved by the 90s. Saved by the 90s East Coast is based in New York City. They also play regularly in Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington D.C. I cannot talk. Maryland, and Virginia. They are also available for weddings, corporate parties, colleges. Oh, that's cool. And other private events all over the East Coast. Saved by the 90s is a national sensation that is bringing back the 90s with a huge interactive party featuring a live 90s cover band that will blow your socks off. With live bands stationed all over the USA, Saved by the 90s puts on parties. So they don't call their concerts. They call them parties.
Oh, okay.
People dress up. They have a good time.
We've seen them before.
Yeah.
They're fun. On their website, they also have pictures with Cisco, Aaron Carter,
cool.
Salt and Peppa, Sugar Ray, and many more. A lot more. They are so cool, and I really want to see them, but...
Well, they are going to be in Northern Virginia. They will be in Falls Church on September 27th.
Is that a church?
Little DC weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. So, and then we have our business of the week, Carytown Massage. I know y'all can't be the guests we shout out. Sorry. Steve was like, what?
Taking this cheese board out of here.
Not before we empty it. Carytown Massage, located at 3616 West Cary Street. It's been open since 2016. Matt and I have had some couple massages there.
Ooh,
yes.
La la.
Carytown Massage can take care of all your massage needs, offering Swedish massage. That's hard to say.
It is. Yeah.
Therapeutic massage, sports massage. I actually had Matt for Christmas had gotten me a
Massage.
like $100
A gift card.
like a gift card to there, and I was like, I want more. So I was like, that's worth an hour. I'm going to do a 90-minute massage, and I added on a foot scrub. Oh my God. I was like melting into the sidewalk as I left there. I was like,
She looked so relaxed after it.
yes, I highly recommend Josie Barber. She was my masseuse. She was amazing. She really actively listened to my problem areas. I have an autoimmune arthritis. I know y'all probably heard me bitch about that before on here. So I always have kinks all over my back. So she really went to town. But they also have they have like a male massage therapist. They have a couple there. So if you're more comfortable with a man rubbing up on you or a woman, whichever.
I want a man.
Yeah. or someone who identifies as a kitty, you can figure that out. No, I'm
Or
just kidding.
Katy Perry.
I'm just kidding. But seriously, check out Carytown Massage. All right, so let's go with some shout outs, people.
Shout out to River City Woodfire Pizza. Thanks for supporting the pod. We love you. And your pizza. You're wonderful.
Yes. The Virginia Historical Society, Virginia Craft Beer Month, Atlantic Union Bank After Hours, which is where, that show is that I shine down will be. Of course.
Saved by the 90s, but last but not least, Texture
and stock.
Thank you.
Yay. And Maddie, you got anything?
Yeah, I have 2 shout outs. The first one is to Ruby Scoop's Ice Cream and Treats. They were the finalists in the Richmond Times-Dispatch Best Ice Cream Shop in Richmond. And they're located on Brooklyn Park Boulevard in North Richmond. And so the contest involves 16 ice cream shops, and they were the winner out of all 16, which is pretty impressive. And my second shout out goes to police officer Mervyn Mayo, who appeared on American's Got Talent, and he got a resounding yes from all the judges. So he played piano and sang, and
he's from here?
Yeah, he's
okay.
A Richmond police.
He's just a random police officer.
Yeah, well, I was like, all right.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so
we'll have to watch.
Yep,
that's cool.
He's one to watch. You guys have anyone you'd like to shout out?
Is it fair to give a shout out to a whole neighborhood?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A big shout out to Manchester. I mean, it's been super welcoming to us, and it's a cool place. Manchester Alliance, Underground Kitchen. There's so many great. I can mention a ton of them, but it's a great place and great people doing great things. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I've heard Manchester is just a tightly knit community, pretty much.
Yeah.
I always like visiting. Liz's dad lives in Manchester, as you know. Beautiful home. My Lord.
Cool place.
Maybe we'll get it one day. No.
And I'm moving it.
Now I'm taking that couch. All right. Well, I guess that about wraps it up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And be sure to follow and like some of our stuff on Instagram. That would be awesome to have your support. And make sure to participate in our poll.
Yes, and be sure to go buy some furniture and eat at Texture and stuff.
And check out the website that Olivia designed.
Oh, yeah, we have a website now. olala-rva.com.
Yay.
So check it out, and bye, guys.
Bye. See you on the flip side.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Bye.
Bye.